Do you ever get discouraged by critics, mean people, bullies, haters, naysayers? Well, do you? Does it ever make you want to give up on your dreams and your creative endeavors by all that naysaying, that criticism against you? Would you like to get some supercharged fuel to break past that and actually be able to use that as fuel for your exponential personal growth and healing that can also spill onto others eventually, hopefully? Let's break out and use all of this as fuel for our exponential growth with renewed mind expansion and more visceral creativity. For your growth, rise above the naysayers and the critics. Do you think it's possible to use feedback from critics, the haters, the naysayers, etc., as fuel for your exponential personal growth, better emotional intelligence, and emotional resiliency, and overall emotional healing for you, that hopefully one day, by your example and you rising above, could spill onto the lives of others with you being the example for their growth and healing if they choose that path. You can be influential for growth and healing for yourself and for others based on what we're going to discuss today. So let's investigate this right now to make it a reality. I am Nurse Ann, and I'm just coming from the front lines right now to drop this amazing information for me, for you, for us, because we all deal with haters, bullies, critics, mean people, no matter your age or your situation. So, as I said, I'm Nurse Ann. I'm a certified emergency. Hold on, let me get these papers that fell. I'm a certified emergency and mental health registered nurse on the front lines for many years and still going. And I'm coming today to drop this on you. Make sure you're following, like it, and leave your comment as we go. So we're going to get into this. We're going to dig into some very important articles that brought this up so that we can use this stuff as fuel to break out of the boxes where we feel like we have to give up or like we're limited by what our critics and our haters think. We can use it for fuel for exponential growth. We're going to get into some articles and also some scripture insight and verses that will help us on that. And don't forget, at the end of the nurseann.com podcast, there's always a bonus and a prize at the end, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Even if you haven't been following along, you're going to enjoy it. So we're going to start with the first article, and it is from the Forbes, and it's how 10 high achievers handle haters. And they picked the brains of a lot of top CEOs to let us know how we can handle criticism and haters as fuel to rise above. Haters, critics, naysayers, anyone on the path to success has them and must learn to stay motivated despite the criticism of discouragement. We don't want to stay discouraged, and that's what this channel is mainly about. It's to help you break out of boxes of mind battles, discouragement, what others think, and go on the path that is led for you, for your mind, body, and spirit, along with God-infused discernment and wisdom. So 10 high performers here and advisors from the oracles shared their secrets for handling haters. And number one was make criticism your fuel. Not your kryptonite. So criticism can be your fuel. It's all about how you frame it. If someone says you aren't smart enough, tell yourself, I can't wait to prove them wrong. Have you ever done that? I have. Negative feedback can either be the anchor you drag through the desert or the wind behind your sail to propel you forward. And always remember, don't make statues of the critics. They make statues of the dreamers, the ones who take chances. Think about it. The revolutionaries who made an impact, changed the rules, ended wars, and fought for freedom were the crazy ones. And they had to listen to naysayers and absorb the criticism. And they let that be their fuel, not their kryptonite. And that was from Dean Graziosi, a multiple New York Times bestselling author and he left that knowledge for us. And we're going to get on to the next ones. But as I said, I'm Nurse Ann. Make sure you're following this channel. Leave your comments today. Share it with others who need this. We all need this kind of encouragement and motivation and fuel. And not only that, in some of my recent podcasts, I left about emotional intelligence, emotional resilience, rising above things like this, leaving a legacy and an impact. If you scroll back through, you're going to see so much inspirational wellness and encouragement for you and others. So number 2, take it as a compliment. You're going to inspire envy and criticism if you're super successful at what you do, or even at what you're trying to do. That's just par for the course. Criticism is the best proof that you're bound to be wildly successful. I've learned early on that the more people badmouth you, the more jealous they are. And that's from Barbara Corcoran, founder of the Corcoran Group, and she's on Shark Tank. And number 3 was get engagement by trolling back. So what someone says reflects how they feel. If someone offends me, which they said is hard, the first response is to ask myself, what is this person going through? And when I first started online, I did have somebody trying to troll me online, and a very wise young person told me, they must be going through something. So instead of saying something rude, I engaged that person, maybe made something funny. I even think I said, you're my number one fan. They stopped bothering me, but it says that here that if they say something funny, you can throw a joke back. Sometimes they have fun with it and becomes a conversation everyone can see. Then other people jump in. Suddenly you're getting a bunch of engagement, which decreases the cost of your social media ads. That's by Billie Jean Shaw. He's a marketer influencer. And number 4, remember that successful people don't need to put others down. Why do we do that? Put others down. Let's stop. Let's speak life. Let's speak life into people and be encouragers, people that build others up. There's no need to put others down and talk about them behind their back to make yourself look better. Does that really make you look better? I don't think so. So this person said that they learned how to cope with hurtful and stressful situations and became happier and more successful. And he asked, someone asked him, I've known you for years, but never heard you say anything negative about anyone. And he smiled and asked, what would be the upside? Why say negative things about people? And happy, successful people don't waste time saying negative things about others. Why would they? So that was by Khalil Rafidi, founder of Sun Life Organics. And number 5, we've heard this, kill them with kindness. Worrying or retaliating against your haters makes you bitter. We don't want to be bitter. It's easy to be resentful and feel justified, but don't. Instead, make a list of the haters you don't like, wish each one well by name, and practice sincerely forgiving them. And just because you forgive somebody, you can still have boundaries around your life where you don't allow them to walk all over you like a doormat and trample on your dreams. But you can forgive for yourself and to ease that way and maybe build a bridge. Speak kindly about them to others. Go out of your way to help them. In time, this breaks down many barriers. Even if it doesn't, the effect on you will be resounding. While some people become jealous of your success and wish you ill will, others will look to you as an inspiration. Never let haters bring you down. Be a shining light and live large so others can see it's possible. And at my website, nurseann.com, that's Ann with an E, and you can see in the description, nurseann.com, there's a lot of inspirational wellness to help you be a leader in impact and learn how to create and just be successful and enjoy life. Be a shining light and live large so others can see it's possible. That's by Peter Hernandez. And number 6 is don't react, be grateful. Whew. When you do big things, you'll always have haters and naysayers. Knowing that is inevitable, so ask yourself, how can I use haters to support my mission even more? First, understand that what we feed grows and what we starve dies. Don't react to your haters. It only feeds them. Second, realize that their words are more about something unresolved within them than you. There's a saying in psychology, if you spot it, you got it. Third, be grateful. Hate, love, critique, and praise are all acknowledgement. You're no longer ignored or unseen. You've made it to the spotlight where everything happens. Are you getting hate even though you're doing good work? Good job. You've made it to the next level. And that's by Jason Capital. Number 7, take the opportunity to check in with yourself. And I do have some podcasts and we talk a lot about doing that soul searching, that self inventory. That's really important We can learn from criticism how to do better in our own lives. Take that and refine what we're doing. There's a lot of truth in that sometimes, and we can work on that to refine what we're doing. So some of us are cursed with a natural desire to please everyone with our personal and professional choices. And they said they've realized an important lesson. No matter what you do, people will always criticize your actions when you try to achieve success. The quicker you can embrace that, the better you'll be. If everyone is happy with what you do, you probably aren't stretching yourself enough. And I do have a podcast about breaking out of our boxes and getting out of our comfort zones. You have to get out of your comfort zones every day to be successful. So if everyone's happy with you, you probably aren't stretching yourself enough, making bold decisions, or placing the big bets required to excel and reach new levels of excellence. Embrace the criticism. Uncomfortable moments are usually a sign that you're on the right track. The next time someone criticizes your choices, ask yourself if you're being true to your personal mission and values. If the answer is yes, smile and know that you're doing the right thing. And that was from Kenny Reuter, CEO and founder of Kajabi. Number 8, ask whether you can learn something. As we just talked about a minute ago, we can always learn something, even from criticism and haters. We can learn how to refine our lives and work on different things, as long as we don't allow it to bring us down and make us want to stop and give up, which can happen. And I don't believe in haters. The columnist Ann Landers is often quoted as saying, at age 20, we worry about what others think of us. At age 40, we don't care what they think. At age 60, we discover they haven't been thinking of us at all. Haters often communicate out of love or a cry for help. And I find that to be true. I'm a nurse on the front lines of mental health and emergency and see a lot of this going on in the lives of others and even in our own lives. They often communicate out of love or a cry for help. Hurt people hurt people. This is true. When we tear others down, we reveal more of our true character than theirs. An attack on others only exposes our thought processes, insecurities, suppressed emotions, and how we judge people. If feedback has any merit, regardless of whether you consider it constructive, be humble and openly consider it with gratitude and love. If the criticism is a harsh, open attack, don't respond with another grenade. It baffles me when I see two keyboard warriors attacking one another online. Tempers flare, egos are damaged, and no one is inspired to grow. Remember, inspire others, speak life. F. Scott Fitzgerald said the test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. So the next time you're triggered to respond, take a moment to consider a different opinion rather than immediately dismiss it. A discouraging word could augment your thought process. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And that's a Bible verse from James that does help us. But that commentary was from Tom Shee, CEO of CrimCheck. Number 9, listen to criticism, but don't give up. Another theme. The best, most powerful advocates often start out as your toughest critics. Don't ignore critics' feedback. Listen to them and engage with them constructively. I also heard that in the Disciplined Entrepreneurship Workbook. We were reminded to get out of our comfort zones, but also listen to criticism and feedback from others, and then decide how you can incorporate that to refine what you're doing. Listen to them and engage with them constructively. Often it's not everyone get a drink of water. Whew, take a breath. So healthy to drink lots of water from Nurse Ann. So anyway, where were we? Listen to them and engage with them constructively. Often it's not your overall idea or position that's the issue. Perhaps you can tweak your delivery or a particular point. Don't give up. Persistence, dedication, and passion are key. And that was something else in the Disciplined Entrepreneurship Workbook. We were reminded that we're doing this for a big purpose. It's not even always about the money. We believe in what we're doing, and we know that can add value to the world and to others. Passion is especially important because if you aren't excited about what you're doing, no one else will be. Share small wins along the way and watch the momentum build. That's by Scott Scheinman, president of GTAC North America. And number 10, stick to your convictions. History is filled with examples of many technological or other breakthroughs that were once met with resistance. When you begin to disrupt an industry, dissenters will gather. People are naturally skeptical of change and reluctant to accept things they don't understand. Don't let that sway you. Thoughtful research and conviction are the root of confidence. When you know you have a better way of doing things, you can overcome all naysayers. Stay true to what you believe in. It works. Respond to dissenters with confidence. Others will get on board and you'll find the path to success. And that's from Thomas Carter, founder and CEO of DealBox. And so we're going to move on to some other things before we get to the bonus, the prize, which I read you a quick action-packed chapter of my published fictional drama where you will get to ride along with the frontline workers rescuing those in crisis of mental, physical, and spiritual with 24/7 action, danger, romance, suspense, faith, and inspiration. We're going to get to that soon. And so another article is by Alicia Peterson, and then we're going to get to some scriptural verses that also help us remind us how to respond in a scriptural way to people that try to attack us. Haters, and Alicia Peterson says, haters are very annoying to deal with. It's human nature to want to be liked or wanted by everyone you meet. You're going to encounter haters everywhere you go, and it's something you can't avoid. But if you want to be successful, the key is one must have the ability to rise above them. So one, she said, develop thick skin. Remember that hate and negativity will always be around. Make yourself strong to the point where hate doesn't rattle you. Being secure and fully embracing who you are as a whole will let the negativity roll off your back quicker and easier. She said she sees hate as a form of love. As crazy as it sounds, she uses the negativity in your life as learning experiences. And that is true. Even from people being mean or even criticism or being humiliated. Being humiliated can help us learn and grow and refine and define our lives and dig into how we can do better and even treat others better. So she says, don't just go through it, but grow through it. She said, for example, if you look at dislikes as I like, it changes your perspective. Put positive thoughts around you so when there's negative thoughts or people pop up, you don't spend a second thinking about it. Count your own successes instead of counting other people's successes, even though you can build others up too. And remember that someone else's successes doesn't mean you're failing. Surround yourself with people that support you. And it reminds us that bad news spreads at the speed of light and good news spreads slow like molasses. Why is this? People are more interested in hearing about the bad than the good, sadly. We live in a culture that is intrigued by drama. Ears perk up when one hears of someone's hardships and failures. That's really sad, isn't it? For the most part, in countless studies, when presented with negativity, the brain, and I've also done a lot of podcasts about our brain and how we make our decisions and different trauma bonds and amygdala, anxiety, and amygdala hijacks. You're going to want to check those out. But it says here in countless studies, when presented with negativity, the brain detects it faster. The amygdala lights up and it's stored differently in the hippocampus. And that was just from the past to protect us and help us learn danger and remember that. And even if the person has outlearned or outgrown the negative, it still packs a bigger punch. There's a trail written on your brain for the negative experience that can be easily activated again if similar situations are suspected. Have you heard of the saying, if it bleeds, it reads? About news stories. So after saying all that, what can you do about people thriving off drama and waiting to hear bad things happen to you? Try not to be like that. I don't want to be like that. Practicing compassion and noticing when it happens can counter the natural tendency to be negative. Everybody has problems and bad days. So turn to your support system when you need. And number 3, have a close network of people you can really trust. Number 4, let it go in one ear and out of the other. The bigger your dreams or goals, the more hate you might attract. Remember, the most successful people in history or the great spirits have always encountered cruel opposition from mediocre minds. It's also natural for some people to attack things that are new to them. You like these flowers? It's for your Valentine's Day. All right, I'll stop wasting time. Anyway, where were we? Encountered cruel opposition from mediocre minds. Don't take what they're saying to you personally. Don't overthink the criticism, and don't let negative people invade your mind. You wouldn't let a robber into your home by opening up the door and saying you're welcome. Why let them in your head? People will always have something negative to say, unfortunately. It's not your job to get everyone in the world to like you, but it's your job to stay focused on what you set out to accomplish. Surround yourself with supportive people and let the hate go in one ear and out the other. Number 5, rise above. If you must talk in person, respond in a classy manner. Meaning to stay calm and don't get down on their level. I know it can be hard to do, but rise above the person that's talking down to you. Let your emotions cool off. Sometimes this does take practice. We can practice ahead for these things and get our brains in gear so that we know how to have that emotional resilience in the moment. Whew. It takes time to practice. It's definitely natural to defend yourself. Every once in a while, you can get a hater to like you. But don't waste a lot of your time trying to convince them. You can't always explain yourself to everyone. There's a big difference between constructive criticism and personal insults. Not all criticism is a bad thing. Be open to the idea that pointers from a different perspective can be helpful. Let them go. If certain people are trying to kick you down and keep doing it, get rid of them. It's very healthy to let bad things go so good things that are meant for you can come in. Number 7, protect your dreams. Your dreams are important. Be very careful who you share your goals and dreams, especially when you're just getting started. I have learned that the hard way a lot. How about you? Leave in the comments some of your dreams and some critics that come your way. And number 8, don't take it personally. Everyone's not going to like you, and you might not have anything to do with you. They might be jealous of what you have and wish they had what you currently possess. Don't measure your self-worth based on people liking you or not. Don't let people drain you. Instead, surround yourself with people that inspire you. I hope that I inspire you at my Nurse Ann's Inspirational Wellness channel. Follow, like, leave your comments. Always remember they wouldn't bother you if you were nothing. In quotes, do you think that if you can't rejoice with someone else's victory, then how are you qualified to receive the victory for yourself? And never hate people who are jealous of you, but respect their jealousy. They're people who think you're better than them. And envy comes from people's ignorance or lack of belief in their own gifts. And someone who hates you normally hates you for one of 3 reasons. They either see you as a threat, they hate themselves, or they want to be you. And then we're going to jump on to the verses, and then we're going to get to the bonus in just a minute. I know our time's almost up. So some of the verses in Genesis 50:20, this is really good. This was the story of Joseph when everybody was attacking him and putting him in terrible situations. But then in the end, it worked out for him. And he said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." In 1 Timothy 2, I urge then, first of all, that petitions, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all those in authority, so that we can live peaceful and quiet lives. In Luke 23:34, and Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." Luke 6:27-28, but to you who are listening, I'd say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. And I know there's a verse that says, overcome evil with good. And that's not to say that we don't have boundaries. We don't let people walk all over us, but we can show kindness and love with respect and boundaries. And Proverbs 24:17, don't rejoice when your enemy falls. Do not rejoice when somebody falls down. But on the contrary, bless. For this you were called so that you can obtain a blessing. In Proverbs 25:21, if your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. If he's thirsty, give him water to drink, and God will reward you. In Proverbs 16:7, when a person's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Proverbs 20:22 says, do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for the Lord, and he will deliver you. And now we're going to jump in a second to the bonus. I want to show you, I have some devotionals for you that are going to help you break out of this mental bondage. I'm going to read you one of them. And one is Mental Healing Poetry Devotional to help us overcome and thrive. And we all need that mental healing and mental resilience, and we can build that up. And my latest one is Ignite Life Poetry Devotional. I want you to be creative. Don't give up on your dreams and live an ignited life. There's a lot in here for that. Link on the website. Word Puzzles Devotional is interesting, unique words linked to that everyday life and inner thought struggles. You get relevant biblical prescriptions, get your dose of wisdom and information. There's also medicine for your soul. And then Energize Health, Body, Mind, and Spirit. Body, mind, and spirit work together in synergy. There's a lot at my website to help you with that. I'm going to read you a quick devotional, then we'll go on to the bonus surprise, and then I'll see you the next time. So quickly, this is Inspiration Battles Devotional, because the battles to stay inspired can seem overwhelming. And this is soul searching with a dose of encouragement. And I chose it. This is A to Z Devotional. And today I chose from B, and the word is bullied. Yuck. Let's not be bullies, and let's find ways to deal with that. So not only can we feel bullied by people and groups, but we can be our own self-defeating perpetrators. Sometimes we buy into the lie of culture, and what is promoted in media is the only acceptable way to look, think, act, and feel. We can even succumb to the pressure of labels that may have been stamped across our life. Maybe it's a diagnosis, the way we look, a personality trait, or a long list of other things that cause us to feel less than, thereby beating ourselves up on the inside and feeling defeat. Friend, I pray that you will remember that God did not give you a spirit of fear. Instead, he wants us to walk in power, love, and self-control. And he also promised that we can be more than conquerors when we rely on his love. Yes, I pray that you will be able to sense the presence of God's angel armies walking before you, behind you, and all around you to lead you with protection and victory. And that's from Inspiration Battles Devotional. Now on to the bonus and the prize, so you can get on with whatever you're doing, your next podcast to watch, whatever you're creating. So this is from my 6-part drama series that I created in my free time as a busy nurse on the front lines of emergency and mental health. And we've already finished book 1 and 2. Now we're in book 3, which is The Mental Files, A Tent Under the Bridge. And I put it all in one book to make it almost free and easier. If you want to join this book club or just ride along on this adventure, it's The Mental Files First 6 Stories edition by Nurse Ann. That's me. And you get to ride along with the frontline workers, rescuing those in crisis, mental, physical, and spiritual. And the shifts are 24/7, so you have to buckle up for this compelling ride filled with danger, action, suspense, romance, faith, and inspiration. And guess what? We don't always have time to read, so I put in an exciting audiobook narrated by Drama Simpsons. This is what it looks like on Audible and iTunes. The Mental Files First 6 Stories edition by Nurse Ann, narrated by Drama Simpson, who brought it to life with siren noises, action. You feel like you're right there in the emergency and mental health dramas, along with the frontline workers, the paramedics, the police, the doctors, the nurses, the caseworkers, along with the church, families in the community, and everyone else. It's a very exciting. So let's jump in, and then we're going to go, because I know you got stuff to do. We're in chapter 11. We just finished chapter 10, which was Friendship Circle. So chapter 11 is Abigail Makes Her Move. And I know we're running out of time, so I'm not going to explain what that's all about. You can listen on the other podcasts. You can also get the book in the audiobook. So as soon as Abigail charged her flip phone with her neighbor's power source, remember, she lives in a tent under the bridge, she pulled out the wrinkled piece of paper with the boarding home information that she had eavesdropped on. She just got out of the hospital, the mental health facility, due to she stole something in the store. Instead of going to jail, she said she was going to hurt herself, so she ended up going to the hospital. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway. Okay, here goes, she said to herself. I hope this is the right Julie the nurses were talking about. My Julie, I haven't seen her in so long. I hope she will forgive me for everything I put her through. I've always been such a mess. She deserved better. Mulling over the pain she had subjected her only child to, she almost decided to cancel her mission to reconnect. Wait, she continued, thinking, did I really hear the nurses say that my daughter is expecting a baby? If this is true, I'll be a grandmother. Oh, I have to help my girl. With that, she placed her call, and with every ring, Abigail's nerves mounted. Until at last, hello, came the shy voice on the other line. Is this a boarding home? Asked the homeless woman. She had expected a more professional greeting. Yes, this is the resident line, answered the young lady. Can I talk to can I talk to Julie? Continued the caller. Sure, hold on. Julie! Yelled the initially soft-spoken girl. When the quiet voice came on the line and greeted, hello, Abigail knew without a shadow of a doubt this was indeed her daughter. With tears forming in her eyes, Abigail struggled to get the next word out. Hello? Repeated Julie. Baby, is that really you? Choked out her mother. The pause and silence seemed like an eternity. Finally, Julie responded with a voice filled with confusion. Mama? Oh, Julie, it is you. I've been looking at you for so... Abigail continued before she heard a click and then silence. Oh no, I've scared her. She hates me, cried the distraught mom. Not sure what to do, Abigail vowed to try again the next day. Maybe Julie needed time to process her emotions. And that's the end. And next is chapter 12, Partners Against Crime. I think you're going to be riding along with the officers as they rescue those in crisis. So I'll see you on the next podcast at nurseann.com. Make sure you follow and subscribe to this channel. Please leave a comment today and share this with others. And I appreciate you being here. And remember, rise above those critics and the naysayers. Use it as fuel for your exponential growth and destiny. You are worth it. See you.